Voilà, on y est. Travaillons ta démarche, mon petit gars. Redresse les épaules, sors la poitrine, écarte les pieds, lève la tête, et en avant. 2, 3, comme un homme.
My name is Mark Henn. I was the supervising animator for the character of Mulan and her father, Fa Zhu, in the film Mulan. And welcome to Notes on a Scene. We're looking at what I call Mulan's decision sequence, one of the very first sequences produced for the film. And it's really unique for a couple of reasons. One, emotionally, it really kind of captures the entire film in one small sequence. There's no dialogue, it's all pantomime, and that's one of the things that makes this very powerful. The other, of course, is that, the emotion, the storyline of this young girl, trying to protect the honor of her family, her father, and her country, willing to sacrifice herself to do all that is represented in this sequence. When I look at it from a technical point of view, we were still trying to iron out the design for Mulan. And this is one of the first sequences that I animated. If you look closely and comparatively to other scenes in the film, she looks just ever so slightly different. And we were still trying to find the final look and design for Mulan. And it went through several iterations. Thankfully, our character designer, Chen Yi, really helped, set the course for us in a more graphic style than where I had originally started. This is a case of where all the elements, the animation, the music, the art direction, everything, comes together to make for a very, very powerful sequence. I had the good fortune of being invited on our research trip to China. Everywhere we went, everybody knew the Mulan story. And for me, that was just kind of added to in my mind, the responsibility that we tell her story as authentically and as lovingly as we possibly could. If the first sequence that we looked at is kind of the dramatic, the emotional heart of the film, this has kind of was the fun of this film, which was having Mulan disguising herself as a young man and pretending to be a man, which is kind of interesting. So from an animator's point of view, I had to first start thinking as a young girl and then think, oh, how would a young girl, pretend to be a young man? And that was kind of the fun, the conceit of the film. I'm often asked, what is my favorite character? And I generally come back to Mulan. And I don't know how many times people have come up to me and expressed how much Mulan means to them, not only as a film, but as a character, and particularly for young women who, find a lot to admire in Mulan. Her legend is still as powerful today, and I feel very pleased to help bring that character to life.
Oui. Mon nom est Ping.
Ming-Na Wen. She was the voice of Mulan, of course, an incredible voice talent who, was kind of a partner with me. She in particular brought a real warmth and honesty to the character that, just influences me as I'm listening to her track and looking to interpret what she's saying audibly, turning that into a visual, in terms of interpreting her performance. She had a great balance of, for the emotional scenes as well as the fun scenes where she's the character of Ping. Well, thank you for joining us as we've looked at one of my favorite animated films, Mulan.